Hi, my name is Tenisha Hibbert. I attend the Family Life Worship Center and I am a midwife.
Okay. Can you describe generally the basic duties of a midwife?
It's a hard thing to put that in a nutshell. We provide clinical care for women during their pregnancy, so doing their prenatal visits and appointments, monitoring their pregnancy to make sure everything stays normal for the course of their pregnancy, plus with them when they're in labor and going through the laboring process, as well as delivering the baby once it's time for them to deliver, and also doing 6 weeks of postpartum care. So 6 weeks after they have the baby, we're also doing home visits and supportive care for things like breastfeeding and making sure that their recovery is going normally as well.
What is the best part or moment of your job?
There are a lot of best parts of my job. I love my job. Being able to experience a new life happening like in your hands is kind of a crazy thing. The one I would want to keep is probably helping laboring women through the process. So the time when they hate you the most and they want to slap you because they're in extreme pain. That's probably my favorite part because it's watching them do something that our bodies were made to do, and also helping them to recognize and realize that it's something that they can do. So the things like epidural are not necessarily 100% necessary, and that women can do it. And so watching them get through that and accomplish that is pretty awesome. As well as watching people become mothers. Like, it's kind of a very unique thing to happen to a person, and you can see it sort of shift instantly, which is kind of cool. I carry with me at all times what can be considered, for the purposes of labor and delivery, level 1 hospital. So that includes everything that I would need to resuscitate a baby if I delivered a baby and they weren't breathing the way that they should. So I carry oxygen, I carry suction, I carry oxygen saturation monitors, I carry stuff to start an IV, to put in a catheter, to take someone's blood, to give them medications if they were bleeding too much, for example, after their delivery. Basically, it's a level 1 hospital in my trunk. Being involved in a women-centered career has sort of helped me to see a lot of the needs of women, including younger women who are, just developing, just becoming women. And one of the ways that I hope I'm giving back is in the area of our girls club and girls ministry. I mean, that's another one of the areas that I spend some of my free time, is helping to hopefully be a role model to them and helping to lead them in the right direction in terms of their own personal and spiritual growth. So to my girlies, they know, we tell them all the time.
Describe the impact of the gospel of Jesus Christ in your life and in your life.
I would say that the gospel is sort of my sounding board, like my foundation. It's where I go for guidance and direction in some of the more challenging parts of becoming a midwife and now being a midwife. There's not many Christians in this field. It's sort of, like I said, a very liberal community that I work in. And so it has been sort of what's kept me grounded and kept me focused on what I know and believe to be correct.
So how has your mom impacted your decisions that you've made throughout your academic and professional career?
Well, my mom, she's sort of been my rock, despite the fact that when I first decided to become a midwife, it wasn't her first choice for me. I think that she, like a lot of other people thought that it was sort of that old school, old uneducated woman who just happens to know how to catch a baby. So she wasn't outrightly in the beginning completely for it, but I think once I educated her and filled her in on what it really was, she was extremely supportive, and I think now she has come to be proud of me as a midwife. But I would say that she has been sort of my shoulder to cry on when I needed it. What would I like to say to my mother for this Mother's Day? I would like to say to my mother, guys, I'm gonna cry. I'd like to say to her, thank you for being... Guys, I'm seriously gonna cry. Okay. I would like to say to my mother, thank you for being a very strong woman and an irreplaceable example of the kind of woman that I want to be. And just let her know that I love her. That's all. For now anyways, because I'm gonna